It was one moment in an elevator that may have changed history.
I was sexually assaulted and nobody believed me. I didn't tell anyone, and you're telling all women that they don't matter, that they should just stay quiet, because if they tell you what happened to them, you're going to ignore them. That's what happened to me, and that's what you're telling all women in America, that they don't matter. They should just keep it to themselves, because if they have told the truth, they're just gonna help that man to power anyway. That's what you're telling all of these women. That's what you're telling me right now. Look at me when I'm talking to you. You're telling me that my assault doesn't matter, that what happened to me doesn't matter, and that you're gonna let people who do these things into power. That's what you're telling me when you vote for him. Don't look away from me. Look at me and tell me that it doesn't matter what happened to me. That you'll let people like that go into the highest court of the land and tell everyone what they can do to their bodies.
Senator Jeff Flake confronted by two sexual assault survivors just hours before his dramatic last-minute call to delay the confirmation vote on Brett Kavanaugh so the FBI can investigate claims of sexual misconduct. Flake later told The Atlantic that encounter struck a chord, and he also told the magazine, quote, "The Supreme Court is the lone institution where most Americans still have some faith. And then the U.S. Senate as an institution, we're coming apart at the seams." Just these last couple of days, the hearing itself, the aftermath of the hearing, watching pundits talk about it on cable TV, seeing the protesters outside, encountering them in the hall. I told Chris Coons, the Democratic senator from Delaware, our country's coming apart on this, and it can't. And he felt the same. Joining us now, former Democratic Senator Barbara BOXER of California. Senator, it's always good to have you with us. Do you believe Flake when he says... Do you believe him when he says he did this because he was trying to preserve the credibility of both the Supreme Court and the U.S. Senate?
I think he was tormented by the whole situation. And the truth is, frankly, this was the way to go, to take a pause, to stop, to bring in the FBI. That's the way it's always been done. And because of his friendship with Senator Coons, because of that one-on-one with a woman who was filled with pain and frustration, I think it just said to him, I've got to do more than just make a speech, because he's broken my heart so many times, I hate to tell you. But this time, he didn't just make a lovely speech that I said great, but he actually took action. And now we'll see if they're going to really do a real investigation here.
Well, it appears that is moving forward. And just a short time ago, the president went after the ranking member on the Senate Judiciary Committee, Senator Dianne Feinstein, questioning whether she was responsible for leaking Ford's letter about the Kavanaugh allegations to begin with. Watch.
Remember? Dianne Feinstein, did you leak? Remember her answer. Did you leak the document? What? No, no, I didn't leak. Well, wait 1 minute. Did we leak? No, we didn't leak it.
Senator BOXER, what's your reaction to that?
He's obnoxious. And, you know, they made up their mind before that they weren't going to go after Dr. Ford because they knew what happened and how they looked when they went after Anita Hill. So they found another woman to go after. I want to say to you, you know, as someone who served in elected life for 40 years, when a constituent comes up to you and says, I'm going to tell you my darkest, deepest secret, I'm going to give you a letter, but I don't want you to say who I am, you don't do it. And she didn't do it, and she didn't leak it. And the bottom line is, he's obnoxious and going after another woman and being rude and despicable. And stronger language to follow.
Now, if the FBI comes back 1 week from now and says there's no additional information to support Christine Blasey Ford's accusations, should Democrats at least be satisfied with the process, even if they don't end up voting for him?
Well, I can't really speculate. I want to know who they talked to, when they talked to them, if they told them they were, you know, under oath to tell the truth. I can't comment on that. I have to see the work product. But I just want to say something to, you know, to you and to your listeners and anyone who's going to have a vote on this. To me, there were a couple of moments that will always stick with me. The pain of Dr. Ford, the hurt on her face after all those years, the fact that she described this, of having this man in her face, holding her down, trying to get rid of her clothes, putting his hand over her face. It was face to face, and she knows who it was because he was a friend of hers. So the bottom line is, if you say she's credible, like everyone says she's credible, then you need to say no to Judge Kavanaugh. And the second thing that I will never forget is the belligerent tone of Judge Kavanaugh. He himself said, I ripped up the speech and I wrote it myself. We saw the real Brett Kavanaugh, privileged, you know, expecting that he was going to get this, a spoiled brat that something happened and he might not telling the truth about his drinking, that was obvious, attacking members of the United States Senate, saying to them, why, don't you like beer? Don't you like beer? What is this, a frat party? He was unhinged. He doesn't belong in a courtroom. You can't have a judge who is so hot and so angry and so arrogant and so belligerent.
A lot of conservatives liked what they saw in the judge. They felt like he was being very raw and honest in fighting back accusations that he says are untrue. I hear what you're saying, though. I want you to also comment on something else the president had to say tonight about another woman.
Oh, okay.
Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren. Let's listen, and then I'll let you respond.
They're so far left, they have been taken so far left, where Pocahontas is now considered a conservative in the Democrat Party. She's like a conservative person. Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren, she's considered like a conservative person. These people, they've gone crazy. They've gone loco.
Well, Warren says she will think about a 2020 bid after the midterms. Do you think the president is practicing for what's ahead?
No, I think it's more of his attack on women. That's what it's about. He couldn't attack Dr. Ford. They told him, whatever you do, don't do that. She's sympathetic. The people believe her. So first he goes after Dianne Feinstein. Now he goes after Elizabeth Warren. Who is next? Melania? Who knows where he's going to go? The man has no respect for women. He wants to put, the president, he wants to put women in jail if they get an abortion. Let's be clear at what's at stake here. But let's not vote for someone who has the wrong temperament for the court. And if conservatives like that temperament, they wouldn't like it if they appeared before him and he didn't agree with them. I'll tell you that. That is wrong.
Former Senator Barbara Boxer, thank you so much for joining us.
Okay, thanks.
The ties that